Ms. Kale, it's always good to have you here.
Always fun to be here.
Always good to have you. Now, let's talk about cool season edibles. So there are cool season edibles?
In fact, I prefer cool season edibles. I mean, who likes gardening out in the heat, the sweat, and the bugs? I know a lot of people do. Some people love the heat, but I'm not. I'm a wimp. I often tell people that once it gets to be high summer, I want to go in the house and lie down and wait for October.
All right.
But I think it's easier to garden in the fall and spring, and some of these things we're going to talk about today will actually overwinter pretty well. And I'm all about pretty as well.
Yeah. Okay.
As a human, I like to eat, but as I also enjoy beauty. So what we're going to talk about today is not only edible, but it'll be pretty in your landscape or in your winter containers. And a lot of people do like to do the winter containers. I personally like to have something right there on the deck I can snag and grab and put in the kitchen without having to run out to the garden in the rain or the cold.
Okay, makes sense to me. All right, so which vegetables would you like to start with then?
I guess if you made me pick just one.
Just one. Oh, Miss Kale,
I may have to go with the chards.
Okay, you like chard, all right.
I like chard. Honestly, I don't eat it as much as I like to look at it, but I can eat it, and I do like any kind of green actually chopped up. I always said if you put enough garlic and bacon in anything, it's going to taste good and good for you.
I can get with that.
But chard is so easily grown, and they have so many colors. The last few years, it's gotten easy to find some of the rainbow chards, even at the vegetable sections at most any garden center. And they're very tough. They hold up well through freezes. And that's the thing. Some of these things we plant as cool season, I want to kind of diss what people call flowering cabbage or flowering kale. They look like big, beautiful purple or white or pink roses. Because they melt. Once we have a good hard freeze, they're mush.
They go down. Yeah.
They do. So that's one reason the chards, in fact, I've had chard over winter, look good through spring, even not bolt in the heat of summer. And bolting, of course, is flowering and going to seed, which is usually the death of a biennial type plant like that or a winter annual. And it will come back, not as soon as we start to get some cool weather, it starts to flourish again. So I really have had them almost act like short-lived perennials.
Okay.
2 to 3 years sometimes I have one in my garden.
It's a long time, 2 to 3 years. Okay.
The bad thing is in the summer, of course, the insects do like to eat it. And you do have to worry about the same kinds of insects that would eat your cabbage.
Okay.
So you have to watch them for that and monitor for pest issues.
Okay, so they're pretty much the same pests as well. Okay.
The colors, though, are what are so amazing. Mostly it's stem color, but a lot of them will have deeply colored leaves as well, but the colors can be red, orange, hot pink, white. They're just incredible. And they're a plant that I like to say plays with light. I've been developing a program called Light and Shadow in the Garden.
Okay.
And you know enough about me that you know I designed my house so that the deck is backlit from my kitchen sink as the sun is setting, and it makes everything kind of glow. I call it the magic hour. It gilds and it makes translucent leaves glow like stained glass, and the chards are like that. They really do beautiful things with light.
Okay. So you do like chard, don't you?
I do like chard.
I can like chard a little bit.
And I said rainbow, but there's neon lights, bright lights. You can there are a range of colors, but you can also order solid colors if you want all red or UT orange.
Yeah, I've had the bright light.
Orange.
Yeah, I like that bright light. That's for sure. All right, now what about kale?
Well, I like to eat kale again. The way you cook it is all about that, and I like young kale in salads. That's yummy. Chop it up fine and put a lot of good stuff in there. But the kale that I love, and I was so impressed with, I fell in love with up north. They were using it in Chicago Botanic Garden and Minnesota in downtown plantings, where there's a little bit of a heat island, and it would hold up through the winter months. And I was like, gosh, that's incredible. The redbor is a deep, rich purple. I mean, the ruffles are insane, the texture on that thing, and it grows like a little tree. So if you're doing a container combination, you know the old recipe, thriller, filler, spiller. It does a great job as that thriller. There is a green one too, winter boar, that's beautiful. I mean, it's a light green. Occasionally you need some green, right?
Right. Yeah. Okay.
It's a color too.
Yeah. Just a color too.
It's a color too.
All right.
So they're not always available locally, although some of our local growers have started supplying it, because there is good demand for it. I know some of the people up at Reelfoot at the resort area there, the butterfly gardens, have been carrying that now But so growers you have to find it you can find it from them, maybe let them know that you want it. You can actually buy it in gallon pots or in 6-packs usually.
Okay, all right, 6-packs. All right, so let's run through some of these quickly, all right? Purple mustard.
Oh, easy, easy.
She says.
It's so easy. Now it will get bitten a little bit in a real hard freeze, but it's one of those, if you get the giant red mustard.
Yes.
That's such a beauty.
It is.
And it's got this fabulous crumpled, puckered texture to the leaf. And if it does get knocked back a little bit in the winter, a couple of warm weeks, it comes right back out. So yeah, that's a really good one and easy. You can just kind of strow the seed around. I actually go around and sprinkle it in some of my gardens in pots as summer wanes, right about Labor Day, and some of it just comes up as the other things are dying down.
Okay. What about some of the Asian vegetables?
Asian, I always liked Asian vegetables anyway, Napa cabbage and such. But I fished an Asian vegetable catalog out of the garbage one day at work. Somebody had thrown out.
Oh my God!
And I went crazy. The tatsois, they're so beautiful. The glossy foliage, and they're like little flattened roses, and they come in greens and purples. Oh, they're just gorgeous things. And there's lots of daikon, lots of radishes, lots of hybrid greens. You could go nuts. And you can get online and find a lot of these as well.
Sure.
Now I want to talk about the dinosaur kale before we get away from kale, because it is one of your very, very toughest. It's a blue green, and again that gorgeous puckered texture, and it's a very arching plant that kind of gives a little umbrella effect over everything. And I always have to tell the story about Felder Rushing. He's got his truck garden. He likes to put the vegetable garden in the back of his truck because he says that's his argument against people who say I don't have time to garden, and it goes with him everywhere. And he says the dinosaur kale holds up to cold 70-mile-an-hour winds with absolutely no damage. So that's a pretty good testament.
Yeah, it is.
It's also free insect control.
Good.
You're blowing the bugs off.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. All right, I got it. So let's hit the evergreen herbs. Can we do that?
I do. Parsley, number one, because parsley's going to stay green through most of our winter unless we have a really severe cold snap. Cilantro, not quite so much. And a lot of people want to plant that in the spring, and it's going to quickly bolt. It actually does better as a fall crop. And then it'll make it through a milder winter fine with no dinging, and then all through spring as well. So you get several months of parsley. And often cilantro if we don't have a really cold winter. And the green is just fabulous, especially on the parsley. The flat-leaf parsley is the most desired culinary-wise, but the little crinkly, fine-textured one, the fern leaf that is the crispa, has got the most gorgeous color to it. So do those. Also, oregano is going to be one of your evergreen perennial herbs. Thyme will also work. And rosemary, though, borderline sensitive to cold. So I usually use rosemary in a pot that I can easily pull back onto the porch or into the garage if we have a really cold snap. But add those to your winter containers, a few pops of pansies, which are edible too.
Yes, yeah.
For the bright color, and you've got edible and beauty.
Edible and beauty. Thank you, Ms. Kale. That's good stuff. Edible and beauty.
I like that.
I like that. Thank you much. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please click the subscribe button below.